are back. It is week 6 of WSG TV. Welcome back. Alongside Simon Borrett, my name is Jacob Munch. We hope you enjoyed the last couple of episodes where we had special interviews with coaches. Today, it's more of a typical show. We've got recaps coming up as well as the Wildcats of the Week reveal. Plus, we also have details about a new contest that we'll talk about a little later in the show. Don't forget, everyone, to please like and subscribe. Simon, how are you doing on this evening?
Finally dry a little bit, I guess. No, I'm well. Definitely probably the most challenging weekend we've had of the season. This rain has been relentless. We managed to squeak some games in. We've been trying super hard to get reschedules on. But as the school year, is slowly and surely, coming to an end, so does the window of opportunities. So we're working hard to try and get the last couple of games in for some teams, but it's been a tough week. But we still had some kids out playing games, and even tonight we managed to sneak a softball game in, which at one point looked impossible. But yeah, it's a long week, but we got through it, I guess.
Indeed, you did, and the kids had fun. Those, especially who got to play in games, and the families probably understand this, but the kids who are watching, maybe less so. Don't forget to thank your coaches, Simon, the umpires, etc., because during these rainy weeks, it gets crazy with trying to figure out, can we play, can we not play, how far away is it? So just, especially to you young kids out there, just give a thanks to Simon and the coaches and everyone else for trying their best to get games on and making it happen, because it's a bit more work than people might realize.
And their mums and dads for driving them, Jake.
Yes.
Don't forget mums and dads and grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncles. It's a team effort,
Absolutely. Parents and guardians, well, they play a massive role, no doubt about that. And so let's dive into the action that we had this week. We will begin with softball, and we'll begin with the softball seniors. On Wednesday, June the 4th, they played in Connecticut at Canaan, and it was a high-scoring game. The game was 10-10 after the first 2 innings, and eventually Canaan just was able to sneak away with the victory. Final score 15-14 for Canaan. But there were a lot of stars for WSG. Lauren Schurer pitched quite well in relief. She also picked up 3 RBI. Chloe Borrett, she scored 2 runs, had 2 RBI, drew 2 walks, and perhaps most impressively, got hit twice by pitches. Well done, Chloe. Way to wear it for the team. Meanwhile, Abby McLaughlin and Maddie Hopkins, they each scored 3 runs in the 15-14 loss on Wednesday. The softball seniors, they got to get right back out on the diamond the very next day, June the 5th, on Thursday in Dalton. But that one was a bit tougher for WSG. They gave up 5 runs in the bottom of the first inning and eventually fell by a score of 12-5. But Abby McLaughlin and Sophia Springstead, they each had an RBI and a run scored in that one. Also, in the circle, Charlotte Bizdu, she allowed only 2 earned runs in 3 innings of relief work, and she struck out 4. But between the game on the 4th and the game on the 5th, it was the McLaughlin sisters who really did quite well offensively for WSG. We'll move now to softball juniors orange. They played on Monday the 2nd. They were playing against Great Barrington. The offense, powered by a home run from Emily Bird, got themselves a 5-2 victory against Great Barrington, and 3 pitchers were great in the circle. Jenny Hogenkamp, Jenna Lewis, and Emma Pyers pitched well for WSG. Now we move on to WSG Juniors Black Softball. They played on Friday against Southern Berkshire Yellow. The final score was 6-0. It was a defeat for WSG. Now let's shift to baseball. Majors Black, they played on Sunday the 8th. It was a makeup game against the Northern Berkshire Elks, and the final score was 7-3. That was a defeat for WSG as they came up on the wrong side. Now Majors Orange, they played against Majors Black on Wednesday the 4th, and it was a bit of a one-sided affair between those two WSG teams as Black came away with a victory 11-1 against Majors Orange. Majors Orange would have an opportunity then on Sunday the 8th to bounce back, and they played a tight game against Great Barrington in the makeup game, but they lost by a score of 4-3. Now for Miners Black, They had a game on Monday the 2nd, and that was a 7-4 loss against Lanesboro. Daly and Stanton, they struck out 8 in the loss. The offense wasn't quite there enough for Miners Black. Miners Orange, they did not have a game played this week. And rookies, well, on Sunday the 8th, they kind of had a game played. They got to take the field against their parents, and that was always a lot of fun, and this game on Sunday certainly was as well. A great experience for the kids, but also the parents as well. We're going to shift now to soccer, beginning with girls U10 soccer. They had an unbeaten run dating back to October 2024. They were carrying it into Sunday's game on the 8th, trying to remain unbeaten this season, but they dropped the game at Berkshire Hills 4-2, the final score from Great Barrington. They fell behind big early, just weren't able to complete the comeback. Now for boys soccer, U10 boys, they had a game against the North Adams Explorers on the 4th of June, which was Wednesday, and they got 2 goals from Ben Boscarino, 2 goals from Dalton Ford, but it wasn't quite enough as WSG boys U10 soccer lost 5-4. So that wraps up your recap from last week. And before we move to Wildcats of the Week, we have an announcement about a new contest that we want to tell you all about. We're having it here at WSG, and we are going to be holding a drawing during next week's show. The winner is going to get a WSG engraved mug as well as a WSG t-shirt. Now, what you have to do to be entered into this drawing: 1, you have to like this video right here on YouTube. It's called WSG TV Episode 6. Obviously, you're watching it. So hit that thumbs up. That counts as liking it. And then you also have to subscribe to our YouTube page, which is Wildcat Sports Group TV. If you do those 2 things, you'll be entered in the drawing to win the contest next week, which we will have live on next week's episode. Now, some of you might be wondering, hey, I've been subscribed for 6 weeks, and if so, thank you. Y'all are the best. But you are already in the drawing if you have already subscribed. But make sure you hit that like button for this video that you are watching right now. That way you can be included in the contest. Again, we'll hold a drawing during next week's show. Winner will get a WSG engraved mug as well as a WSG t-shirt. And we look forward to that being a fun part of next week's episode. So now, what we are going to do is progress on to Wildcats of the Week. You know the deal. In partnership with Domino's, the 2 winners each week get a gift certificate for a free pizza to the Domino's in Lee. The week 6 theme was athletic ability. The seasons are in crunch time, so who has been performing the best and impacting games to put their team in a position to win? And so, the winners of this week's Wildcats of the Week, they are... Maddie Hopkins, WSG softball. She plays on both the seniors and the juniors. She is a deserving winner.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations, Maddie. Well done. The nominee was from both coaches, really, from the softball seniors, softball juniors. But this girl, she's fast, she's furious, she is feisty. She's basically hitting the ball. She's been extremely dedicated to improving her skills in the batter's box, but also on the mound. And she's impacting games as a pitcher in the juniors program. But ultimately, this kid is a leader. She's an all-action player that just works hard to win and leaves it on the field and never gives up. Great winner of this week's award. So, Maddie Hopkins, well done. I'll be tracking you down to get a pizza certificate for you soon.
Congratulations, Maddie. That's pretty impressive, playing both juniors and seniors. Way to go, Maddie. Now, our second winner. He plays on Majors Orange, and the winner is Roman.
Roman Rustanger, what a kid. This kid, he can play any position. He has stepped up to pitch for the Orange team this year, who have been a little bit lacking in the pitching department. The kids who have been stepping up and doing a valiant effort, but Roman's really been doing a great job. He just does everything that's asked of him as a player. His batting is fantastic, probably, leading the team in several categories, but he's just a great all-round player that really impacts and puts the Orange team in a position to win. So, Roman, I will be seeking you out in the next few days and giving you your certificate as well.
Congratulations, Roman. I must say, all the WSG uniforms are excellent, but I think the orange jersey that Roman is showing off right there, that's the best of the bunch. And well done, Roman. Congratulations to both you and Maddie Hopkins for being this week's Wildcats of the Week winners. The upcoming week's theme for week 7, it's going to be craving consistency. It's a long season, but the next week winners, they are committed to the program. They have showed up and worked hard to improve every single day. So make sure you bring forth your best effort this week. Well, the spring seasons, they are starting to wind down. There's plenty more, though, still on the horizon for WSG in the summer months. Isn't that right, Simon?
Absolutely. I've got one error correction to make, Mr. Munch, though.
Uh-oh.
The McLaughlin sisters know it's just Abby. She has had an exceptionally good week in the softball
My apologies, Abby.
It seems like there's two of her. That's how well she's been playing. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out there. We don't have the comment box that we fill that in. But
Abby
yes,
was doing so
right.
well this week. I thought there were two of them who were dominating so much. But well done, Abby. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. But yeah, the summer. So, as we try to continue offering our players a platform to develop and improve at the sports they love, and also just to play, we're really excited that the softball subcommittee, the soccer subcommittee, and the baseball subcommittee have been working hard behind the scenes to try and put some summer opportunities out there. So, fingers crossed, by the end of this week, we'll have information for all sports. Whether it would be clinics that we'll be offering that could be particularly specialized in technical attributes, whether it would be a select travel team that we're trying to offer. Those would be a tryout-based program, where we'll advertise an evening where we'll ask players to come down and they'll try out, where we'll take a smaller roster based out of the overall collection of players that would be age eligible. During the regular seasons, we don't ever try and cut players. We want to give these kids the opportunity to play and enjoy the sport, but we're trying something different in the summer where we may look to take a select group of players to experience something new. And also just offering some pickup games during the course of the summer where kids can come down and continue to play and get out and enjoy some time with the sports they love, with the friends that they've made in the season. So stay tuned. Hopefully we'll have lots of information on or before, no later than this Sunday coming up, with details for how you can go about expressing an interest, applying for a tryout, or just signing up to partake in one of the programs that we offer.
It's really great stuff. I know when I was in elementary school, middle school, it kind of was the problem. I played sports 3 seasons a year, and then summer would happen and no organized sports, and a little tougher to see the friends that I made on the field. So it's a great thing what you and WSG are doing. So everyone stay tuned for that. That will wrap up this week's episode. Reminder, check Game Changer for the up-to-minute notifications, cancellations, and news. As you've learned this spring, it's always changing. So make sure to check Game Changer. And again, like and subscribe to our YouTube if you like this video, episode 6, and you are subscribed to Wildcat Sports Group TV. You'll be entered into our contest, which we will draw a winner from next week. So, for Simon Borrett, my name is Jacob Munch. Thank you all very much for tuning in to episode 6 of WSG TV.